attacks, media, music, new kinds of Christian teachings, new kinds of doctrines introduced into churches. So there's always a battle going on in every person's minds. And I'm sure we all have frontal lobes because God has given it to us. For what? To choose. So fear God and keep His commandments.
The CBDCs truly are the key that unlocks Revelation 13:17. How can they prevent you from buying or selling something? CBDCs is how they can do that. CBDCs are an attack on our freedom. In fact, CBDCs will be the end of freedom since the government would have the authority to decide and the power to enforce how you may or may not spend the CBDC that is assigned to your digital wallet. This is happening. This is happening right now. They're laying the groundwork to put this in effect, and no one seems to know about it.
And they were going to places called tissue retrieval labs, and we discovered, they were doing this again, and they were breaking the law to do this. And it got me engaged and involved in this. So when it came time to do my dissertation, I decided, I'll try to figure out how we arrived at this point as a people, as a culture, as a world, as a country. How do we get here? How do we become so godless that we enact laws that say it's okay for a woman to kill her own child just so she can have a better life? What has happened to humankind?
Just 39% of Americans said religion is very important today, while in 1998, 62% said so. By ripping America's focus away from God and into materialistic class warfare, Lenin's American pals, they're winning. Sadly, as religious participation drops in America, suicide rises. Listen to this quote from George Washington in his farewell address. He said, "Of all the dispositions and habits which lead to political prosperity, religion and morality are indispensable supports."
Paul was singing this earlier today very beautifully about love and fear. And that quote from Timothy is, I have many favorite quotes from the Bible, but that's one of them, and one that I have thought about a lot during this pandemic. And I even tweeted that quote once. But it's also a principle of public health, because if you have public health, it's based on trust. And it's a two-way street. If public health officials and public health agencies want the public to trust them, then public health also has to trust the public.
Might I suggest that we are living in a time of lies? And that the people in this room, you are truth tellers. That it is going to take revolutionary acts of courage, boldness, strength, controlling the frontal lobe, to accomplish the things that God needs for His kingdom. Ellen G. White said, "The only hope of better things is the education of people in right principles." I love this quote. It's my very favorite quote by her, because it's so true. If we don't have the right principles, then we will be highly deceived.
A well-nourished and healthy brain. The brain is the organ and instrument of the mind and controls the whole body. In order for the other parts of the system to be healthy, the brain must be healthy. And in order for the brain to be healthy, the blood must be pure. If by correct habits of eating and drinking, the blood is kept pure, the brain will be properly nourished.
And this is one of the statements, this population control concept that is a counterfeit, the exact opposite of what God speaks in His Word.
That frontal lobe thing that we've kind of based this conference on, that's what God is waiting for. That's why this conference is so important, because God is waiting for a people to be sealed. Like the Bible Sabbath is meant to be a day in which heals the relationships with God, ourselves, and with others, and with the world. The main push from this encyclical ultimately is so that the climate would be healed, but the solution is on a day of worship. So you and I are given the opportunity in these last days. You have spiritual Elijah, those that keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus. You have spiritual Jezebel, who is working behind King Ahab, the United States, to bring about final events in this world's history.
Next question, isn't yoga just stretching, Ivan?
Yoga, there are actually 8 limbs in yoga. And one of the limbs is the asana, which is stretching / postures. And so the postures have a meaning to it. So there is a physical expression of worship and not just stretching in the context of yoga.